It's Wednesday, the 22nd of April 2020. It's around about midday, and that can mean one thing and one thing only, that it's time for today's The Quiz. With me, it's your host, Edward C. Lewis. And of course, I have no words. I just have no words to describe this man. He needs no introduction, but I'll do it anyway. It's the one and only WNL. My pops, WNL. How are you?
Hey, I'm pretty good. I mean, the weather hasn't broken yet. A couple of weeks of absolutely wonderful blue skies. I noticed yesterday someone in the chat stream, I can't remember who it was mentioning sparrowhawks in their back. We've had one as well, and I had to go out and sort of chase it off. Couldn't fly as fast or as far, but got rid of it.
You and Osric would have a lovely time together if you were to get together in person, because he would love to chat with you about birds. I think he's an avian enthusiast.
I've just left, the kitchen, which overlooks, well, the back garden, and I had to tear myself away because the goldfinches are on the feeders right now, and it's. But I'd rather be here.
I'm sorry that you have to come to us instead of looking at your glorious goldfinches, and instead you get these tweeters instead. Although we're not doing it, it's not about birds today. That was yesterday. Yesterday's was.
Yesterday was birds. Today it's all about. Well, I said I'm going to surprise you. I've just made it generally about people.
I like that, and people can be surprising. By the way, just talking about people, we've got Sticks to 42, Commander and SR2, Jack Little, Commander Benkai, Alien, Jack Little again, Commander Benkai again, Alien again, Sticks to 42 again. I mean, look, we're only 2 minutes in. Jester D's here too. We're only 2 minutes in, and I'm not surprised. Talking of surprises, I'm not surprised that all of the best ones are here, because all of the best ones are always here. I haven't done a tweet. Is that a problem? Do people think that's a problem? I just felt like people were getting sick of the tweets. Like being a bit like, yeah, we get it, you're on. And that's the only thing I'm tweeting. So, do people find that useful to remind them that it's on every weekday at midday? Or what do we think? Give me some feedback. We're all friends here. Yeah, okay, I'll do the tweet. Okay, yeah, okay, I'll do the tweet. It took one response for me to be like, yeah, okay, I'll do the tweet. Yeah, okay, I'll do the tweet. Yeah, okay, I'll do the tweet. Yeah, okay. Alright, here we go. We're live. Now. Come join us for the quiz. It's time. Twitch.tv/Edward C. Lewis. This is really good live streaming right here. And Edward Lewis is live streaming. We're live now. Come and join us for the quiz. It's time. Twitch.tv/Edward C. Lewis. Great. So there you go. Welcome to Tony's live streaming tips. Tony's Twitch tips. Triple T, they call it. Today on Triple T, we're going to be talking all about how to do a tweet before you go live. Now, what you're going to need to do is you're going to make sure that you include the correct twitch.tv URL in there. Because if you use the incorrect one, then your audience will not know what the correct channel is to go to. Because you might also accidentally, I don't know what this guy's voice is going. You might
Where
also,
are you from? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I think his name's Roy. Tony. He's all right from like that. And he says he likes to go for a carry, but he also likes to do some Twitch streaming every now and then.
He's lived a few years in Birmingham as well, yeah.
He's lived a couple of years in Birmingham, right? But he's... Oh, gosh, coffee. So, basically, do a tweet. That's the tip. Do a tweet and trap people. Tell people. They're not just going to come to you. You have to tell them to come to you. That's the tip. Tony's Twitch tips. Lasso them and pull them in. That's it. It's the old lasso maneuver. Yesterday, last night, first of all, two things. Two very important updates in my life since I spoke to you all yesterday. First update. I had a dream about that someone had put a bear in my bed last night. Just a big grizzly bear.
Teddy or live? What sort of bear?
Like a big brown bear, like a big sort of grizzly bear, I suppose you would call it. I don't know. In my dream, I'm not an animal expert, so I don't know I just know it's a big live living bear, and he was in my bed. He was friendly, and someone had put it in there as a prank. Someone had put the bear in there as a prank, and I was just.
Have you ever seen The Revenant? Yeah.
It was in it, but it was. I just befriended the bear. Me and the bear became good friends, and I was just and we just sort of have a little wrestle, like a fun little wrestle, and he was sort of bite. You know that bite thing that they sort of bite you, but they don't really bite. You know, dogs do that. He was doing that too. You know that noise that dogs make, and they go. You know that. That's a good dog chomp. There, listen. Dogs do that. He was doing that. He was a good bear. I'm not even looking at the chat anymore. They might have absolutely lost their minds and left.
How long did this wrestling match last?
No, it was only a couple of minutes. It was more. The dream was. It was like a sitcom. I was like, now I've got to get to terms with living with a bear. Wah wah. You know? Would anyone watch that sitcom? Because I've got a contact
only
at
in your
BBC.
dreams, yeah.
And the second thing is, I was on the park, 2 meters apart from this man, because somebody in the park across the way from me has made a grid out of chalk, a 2 meter by 2 meter grid, so people can go and stand on the park and make sure that they're not getting any closer. Because everyone in Islington is very. I mean, by the hello, I'm in Islington. Third thing that's important in my life, I'll tell you about in a second. Anyway, I chatted with him on the park for a bit, right? Just a little, just for a moment. Just we had a good chat, and I was like, oh, it's really nice to actually talk to another human being. That it was weird, it was almost as if hearing his voice through the air to my ear from his mouth was different to how it is over here. You know, it's almost like digital signal changed and then thrown into my. It was just something quiet. It was almost quieter. Everything was a little quieter, right? Bear with me, everybody. Hello, everyone. Hi, all your blocks. Good to see you. And Ben Kai and Signal. So many good people here. I mean, you could almost say all the best ones. So I'm not ignoring you. I am just going to carry on telling my story about the man I met. He was a nice guy. He was just nice guy, nice dude. Had a good chat. He was into Destiny 2. Knew all about he knew all about video games, and he was talking about kind of playing Quake in the old days. And I was like, and he was like, I played with the Skyrim. And I was like, guys, my name's Ed, I'm Matt, you know. And I was like, this is the first human interaction I've had for a long time, and I felt almost naughty, a clandestine meeting, you know. They're 2 meters apart from one another, making friends. This man in his sort of early 50s, perhaps. He wife and kids. He was the CEO of some tech upstart company in Angel, Islington. Anyway, later on last night, I was just checking my phone. I get a notification from LinkedIn. And he'd found me, and he'd sent me a message saying it was lovely to meet me. And he's like, a bit stalkery, but I thought it would be nice to... And I was like, I wonder if his wife and children know that he's messaging strange men that he meets on the park. Anyway, that's that story. So there's the bear. Third update to my life, this is all very dramatic, is down the road from me, an unexpected twist. I actually thought it was really sweet, and the guy was really nice, and I messaged him back saying, hey, looking forward to our next meeting on the park. I'm just starting to feel a little strange about that, but you know, I never thought that at 32 I'd be meeting strange men on a park for naughty meetings. That's what I didn't think that would be happening. To each their own. It's
not the way I brought you up. Yeah.
it's okay, moving very swiftly on, but at the end of the road, and by the way, I've seen Barrett's here. Hi, Barrett. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. At the end of the road, that way, actually, people have started to tie their shoelaces together, their trainers together, and then hurl them over the power lines. So at the bottom of my road, it's full of trainers. And that wasn't there before all this. This is just all like a weird thing that people are bored, so they're throwing their trainers up over the top of this power line? Or is it some strange... Jack Little says that's a drugs thing. Okay.
It's It's an alternative G5 mask.
Oh, it's a drugs thing, and I'm just being. It's a gang thing. It can't be a gang thing. I live in Angel, Islington. Barrett says that means they're selling drugs. Oh, I'm such an innocent young man. I had no idea.
Sell a few, I suppose, to afford the new trainers that they've just
By the
bought.
way, let me tell you, that means they're selling a lot of drugs because there are a lot of trainers around there. It's not a power line. It's a telephone cable or whatever it is these days. The internet wire, where all of the internet goes through down the tube. You know the tubes, the magical tubes where the internet goes down. Those things. Ship. Buy the drugs. I didn't know that. I was going to go and do that for fun. Just because I thought, I've got an old pair of trainers. Let's add to this little art piece. I don't want to tell anyone any drugs. Or buy them, for that matter. Oh, hi. I am Will, which is a nice name. Mr. Lewis, what are you doing now since leaving Frontier? Oh, that's me. I thought you were talking to my dad. Sorry, my name's Ed. Mr. Lewis is my father. I am Will. I'm working at Bethesda, and it's awesome. I love it. Lovely bunch of people, great products. Genuinely, really, really good fun. A lot smaller than you would think. Very, very lean team. Working on some really awesome stuff and with some really cool people. And different to Frontier. I wouldn't say better or worse. I love Frontier. I have so many fond memories and so much love for them. And if it wasn't for, we wouldn't be doing this right now if it wasn't for that. Anyway, I'm clearly in a talkative mood. But
are you in a winning frame of mind?
No.
There goes the averaging.
No, I'm not in a way. I just want to talk about the drug trees. That's what I want to talk about because I didn't know that was a thing. Did you know that was a thing, WNL?
No. When I was in Tallinn, I saw it was an art installation in the middle of a square, and they just had it was probably about 25 feet across, and a huge circular area just piled high with trainers that had been spray painted silver and gold.
No, that's just that again. You think that's art because that's the way that we are, but apparently, well, Jack Little say it's an urban legend. Piles of shoes give me the creeps. They'd also give me the creeps because the other pile of shoes. I don't know why I'm getting into these dark details today. This is a dark frame of mind I'm in.
I once wanted to open a museum. This is genuine. Wherein I should have done it 15, 20 years ago when I first thought of it. And that was pick up every shoe along the road, take its coordinates as far as that's concerned with my phone, know where I got the shoe, and then have an entire museum made up of lost shoes that I'd found along the roadside, and with their specific places, so you could sort of check. See, I suppose maybe you could reunite somebody. Maybe it fell off the top of a car when they're moving, or maybe it was some sort of sad story, make up stories. I just felt like it would be quite interesting to document it.
It would be. And
there are thousands of shoes along the roadside.
You can still do that, and you put where the shoe was found, and you write it above, and you kind of a shoe tells a story. I wonder what that story was, and you could write a short story per shoe. This is a great live stream. This is what we should be doing. Oh, a Samsung Meteor mic, nice. Oh, a Samsung sponsored by Samsung Meteor mics. Actually, it is very, very good. It's a good mic. Shoe connections. Very good. Any other puns? Any other good titles for what that would be called? Art with soul. Yes, that's a good one.
Soul.
As in the soul of a shoe. That's Jack Little. Again, we've got to start paying Jack Little to write for us because it's so good. All right, let's play a quiz. What are we here for, really? I know that I'm enjoying just chatting.
10 questions to see if you can you got very close yesterday. What was it, 8-7 or whatever? No, 8-6.
Oh,
7-6. There was only a point or two in it at the most, and you got your average. I think it was averages all round, 8-6.
Yeah, that was it. 8-6.
I'll check that later. But in the meantime, today it's all about people. We've got 10 questions, very wide-ranging, just sort of what popped into my head in the last 24 hours. Are you ready?
Yes.
Should I go over the rules? most of these people do know the rules.
Most of them do, but there's always a sneaky new person here, so definitely let's reiterate them.
New person, you're sneaky. Yeah, my son has just called you sneaky. But in the meantime, yeah, it's a quiz. Edward will turn the chat stream off so we can't see the chatters, the answers. I'll still be able to see them. I'll ask a question. I'll take the first 3 answers. If we have consensus, that's your answer. If we don't have consensus, it'll be the first one of the 3 answers that I'll take as the given. Okay, then I'll ask Edward for his response, and, well, we'll see how the scores actually go up over the 10. Simple as that.
We do. We have Sadie La La La. I told you we'd have a sneaky new person. Sadie La 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 is the sneaky new person. So I hope Sadie La La La. Let's find out. Was that a adequate explanation of the rules? Do you feel as if you are ready for the next 15 minutes of your life?
Yeah. Regardless of whether it's
these answers will be recorded, and you will be tested on them at a later date. No, hello, hi, thanks. I am so ready, says Sadie La La La. Great. Well, that's fantastic. Thank you for joining us, by the way. Welcome to this lovely community of lovely people.
It must be time then.
Is it?
It must be time.
That means I've got to say goodbye to the chat. Goodbye, chat. Be nice to each other.
To the chat for the time being. I'll still have recourse to the chat stream. You won't. Okay, question number one. Julie Andrews won an Oscar for her first ever film part. What was the film? Julie Andrews won an Oscar for her first ever film part. What was the film? That's number 1.
Good question.
And it's gone quiet here.
Folks,
can I remind you, there's no checking on anything other than inside of your head, okay?
And this is just a surprise, random. The theme today is there's no theme.
I have their answer.
You have their answer. Is that right? The theme is there's no theme?
The theme is just people. Our first one was Julie Andrews, okay?
She's a person.
She's a person.
As is Oscar. The Oscars. No? Okay. It's not. Because when were the Oscars introduced? Because I'm tempted, obviously, to say
way before Julie Andrews. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, really? Okay. Then I'm tempted to say Wizard of Oz.
You're going to say Wizard of Oz. Wizard of Oz was one of the 3 answers, for the chat stream as well. But they were outvoted because there was no consensus for the first 3.
Go on.
And the very first one was Sound of Music. But it's neither one of those. It was actually Mary Poppins that she received her first ever film part and got an Oscar.
Oh, she's so good in Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that. So did she? She is Dorothy, right? Am I wrong about that?
You're wrong about that.
Oh, who's Dorothy? What's her name?
Dorothy Gale.
You're not gonna believe this, but a dog just walked past my window that looks just like Toto. I am not exaggerating. If it was easy for me to turn without breaking the stream, I would turn and show you. There's a dog.
It wasn't Julie Andrews. It was Judy Garland who starred Wizard of Oz. Yeah. And someone in the chat had exactly the same sort of mental association. Syllable, first initial, and all that. Yeah.
Well, they were all called Julie something. This is what I find about like these classic actors and actresses is that they all have the same names. They're all called Jean something or Kelly. They've all got the same sounding names.
Or they could be Gene Kelly. Yeah.
That's that's exactly it. That's the whole point. They are all Gene Kelly. All actors are the same.
That could be an answer later on. Who knows?
Let's hope so.
Question number two. By the way, so it's one of the rare times in which we're going on to question 2 and no one has scored yet. It's 0-0.
Yes.
0 point.
Underachievers. Still cool.
Question number 2. Simple 50-50. It's true or false. Okay, I'll read out a statement. And if you agree with it, you write down the entire word true. If you disagree, it's the entire word false. Here's your statement for number 2. The singer Madonna, her first name is actually Madonna. Is that true or false?
The singer Madonna.
The singer
The singer
Madonna.
Madonna.
Her first name is actually Madonna. True or false?
There's a really nice, as a musician, there's a really nice cadence to your words there. The singer Madonna. The singer Madonna. The singer Madonna. The singer Madonna. Singer Madonna.
I'm from The Lion King, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I have their answer.
False. No one's called Madonna.
No one's called Madonna? It is absolutely
No!
true. Yes, her first name is Madonna Louise Ciccone.
Really?
Yeah.
No one.
So Madonna was her first name. She just goes by her first name.
No.
I mean, like other people, Adele is Adele.
Prince?
It's not an answer for today, but Adele, what's her surname?
Kelly. Grace.
Kelly. Jean. No, it's
Jean.
Atkins, but that's not a question.
Gene Hackman. Gene
Hackman.
Gene.
Jean Harlow.
Gene Genie.
Sorry, Genie, yes. Okay, hey, they got it right, Edward.
Yeah.
So you're behind.
Okay.
It's 1-0 to the Chatters.
I was ready for
On
that.
to question 3. Question 3, are you ready for this?
No.
I'd like to know, what did shopkeeper John Bowler invent back in 1850? What did shopkeeper John Bowler, Bowler, invent back in 1850? Okay, Chatters, go for it.
I think I know what the answer to this is. You know those toy microphones that you get, the plastic ones? You don't care that plastic wasn't like a widely used thing in 1850, but plastic microphones, the ones that the kids have that they speak into, and it just sort of goes, and they think it's amplifying, and I think he invented that.
What, you mean it isn't? What?
Yeah, you know which ones I mean, though, right? I think he invented that.
I do.
No.
Are you saying John
no,
Bowler?
I'm saying John Bowler. I'm saying John Bowler invented the bowler hat.
The bowler hat is absolutely correct. Yes. Okay. I thought it might catch you out. I don't know. But he could have. I don't know. It could have been 10-pin bowling. The first one to put 3 holes in the ball or something or other. I don't know.
I did think potentially it could have been bowl, but no, bowler hat, of course. 1850. 1850, did you say?
1850.
That's
back
pretty,
in 1850.
That's pretty good.
Yes. I don't have one right. Or I'd wear one on Formal Friday. If I had a bowler hat, I'd wear one on Formal Friday.
You would think that the bowler hat would have been made way before 1850.
I think it was 1850.
No, I believe you.
But like, not now.
I wonder when there's like the top hat, and he just went, you know this hat, John, I've got this idea for you. And he's like, what? What's that? And he's like, this hat, it's too flat on the top. I think if you just round it off the top of the hat, John, then you'd have a great idea. And he's like, a terrible idea. And then he's like sneakily writing it down. He's like, oh. And then he invents the bowler hat. And then his mate, Tom Bowler, he is then like, go on.
That's not even worthy of me. Yeah, Tom Bowler. Yeah.
Tom Bowler, John Bowler's brother, he should have been the one who invented it.
He should have. But he didn't. And, well, history, and there we are. Here we are today. All sporting, well, not sporting our bowler hats. After 3 questions, it is 2 points to the Chatters, 1 point to you. You're 1 down going into question number 4.
I'm feeling good about it.
Feeling good. Question number 4. Bit of a multiple guess. I'll give you the right answer and a couple of wrong ones, so wait until you hear the entire question. Question number 4. I'd like to know, which Chicago gangster became, in 1930, America's first ever public enemy number 1? Was it Babyface Nelson, Al Capone, or Pretty Boy Floyd?
We did. You see, you've thrown me off there.
It wasn't who you thought it would be? Who are you thinking? Who sprang into your mind?
I'll tell you who sprang into my mind. If you really want to know.
I really want to know.
John Bowler. No, no.
Forgotten his name already. Yes,
Al Capone. Al Capone jumped into my head. I was like, Al Capone. So I'm going to guess. I'm going to stick with Al Capone.
Al Capone, absolutely correct. Yeah, I mean, Babyface Nelson, Pretty Boy Floyd. There were quite a few interestingly named and nicknamed people in the 20s and the 30s. But it was Al Capone who was the first ever public enemy #1. And the Chatters, well, yeah, they got it as well. Locked up in Alcatraz, and rightly so.
With the Birdman.
It's 3-2. Okay. Question number 5. Halfway through today's quiz. I'd like to know who, an American singer, was the first person to get more than 10 million followers on Facebook. Who, an American singer, was the first person to get more than 10 million followers on Facebook? Okay, chatters, time to guess. Could be your favorite. Might not be.
It's between two people.
Don't tell me yet.
No. Okay.
They've gone very, very quiet on me here.
Yeah. Well, that's good. It shows that they're not cheating. So I have. By the way, this right now is terrible for my posture. Look at this. I'm hunched. You should see the angle of my back. I'm going to show you what I'm going to show you. I'm going to turn sideways. Okay. This is how I'm sitting when I'm live streaming. Like this. Can you see that curvature in the spine there? That's how I'm sitting. Kind of like that.
Your grandmother had scoliosis. Sorry. Well, my mother. Yeah, your grandmother. Yeah, that's right. Grandma Charlotte.
The cogs were turning there, weren't they? Right, it's between two people. I'm sorry that she suffered from scoliosis. I can't do anything about it.
I have their answer, by the way.
I'm afraid I can't do anything about my rest in peace, my passed away grandmother's scoliosis. We can't do anything about it right now.
But you can do something about yours. Sit up straight.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. Yeah, that's right. I can learn from it.
Put a ruler, a rod down your back. Yeah.
Okay, from now on, the stream's going to be like this. It's between Taylor Swift and Lady Gaga.
And?
I think it's Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga is absolutely correct. Yeah. Lady Gaga, yes.
Did they get it?
And, well, if you must know, that was their first answer as well on the chat stream, but they then outvoted themselves with 2 straight Justin Biebers, so you're all tied up again.
Yeah!
3 apiece.
Yeah. Oh, let's keep going. Let's get going. Let's get growing.
They thought there could have been a male influence in there, Justin Bieber, but it was Lady Gaga, yeah. Okay, question number 6. And this is simple 50-50. I'd like to know which Welsh singer performed the theme song for the James Bond film Thunderball. Was it Tom Jones or Shirley Bassey? Which Welsh singer performed the theme song for the James Bond film Thunderball? Was it Tom Jones or Shirley Bassey?
That's my impression of Tom Jones.
Whip crack away. I have their answer. Again, there was discord, dissent, difference.
He's creepy. He's creepy.
But I do have their answer.
He's creepy. Is he not creepy? Tom Jones is creepy.
Well, there are a lot of people who, I suppose, in the course of their careers, become creepier, I suppose. But we got to admit that he had the voice.
I would like to, and he was on The Voice. I would like to see a graph of Tom, of his age versus creepiness, like how. And where the perfect intersection moment is, that kind of side. When does sexy turn to creepy? That's what I want to know. I
was going to give a few names and say we could ask them, but no, I shan't go into slander. Slander is not good.
I've done it. I've started it. No, it's true. It's true. You're absolutely right. Sorry. And by the way, I will be accepting feedback as to. The coffee buzz and whether or not people think that I should tone back the coffee. It's up to if you're fine with it, let's keep going. What was the question? Oh yes,
the question is, which Welsh singer performed the theme song for the James Bond film Thunderball?
I think it was
either Tom Jones or Shirley Bassey.
I'm going
and which is
Shirley Bassey.
You're going with Shirley Bassey.
Yes.
You should have gone for Tom Jones. It was the only one he did. She actually did 3, as the chatters are actually pointing out to each other right now. She actually did 3 versions, 3 themes: Goldfinger, Diamonds Are Forever, and Moonraker, all the way up to something like 1971. But in 65, it was Tom Jones with Thunderball. So you're 1 behind again.
That's thoroughly disappointing.
4 points to 3. Yeah.
Okay.
Jack Little says he's enjoying the caffeinated Ed, but hey, one can never tell.
I mean, look, he's a good gauge. Jack Little's a good gauge.
But the Gandhi Jr. 94 says, hey, coffee drinking is not good, or coffee caffeine is not good. And I must admit that most of the time, I even, like for my fabulous ancient 1950s Italian coffee pots and things, I usually put in a blend, a little bit of a caffeine kick, but most of it is decaffeinated. And so it's a good combination. Still get the rich flavor, but not quite the buzz.
Yeah, there is a little buzz. It's interesting because during these testing times, it's kind of like, all right, so do I want to remove all of the fun from my life? Like, no, I'll start having...
You don't want to end up like Chuck on Breaking Bad and having to wrap yourself in tin foil.
Yeah, I mean, we're too late for that. Like, I'm already clearly quite jittery. You're right. I need to Better Call Saul, not Breaking Bad. Sorry. There you go. Quiz question. Give me a bonus point.
Hey,
I want a bonus point for that one.
No spoilers. No spoilers. I have yet to watch the final. So.
I watched it last night. It was great.
Hey. Oh, good. Great is as far as I want to know. Nice, good, yeah, wonderful, but no detail. Okay, here we go. You're behind. It's 4 points to 3. It's question number 7. Number 7, in 1991, Helen Sharman, that's our person for this question. In 1991, Helen Sharman became the first Briton to do what? 1991, Helen Sharman, Sharman, became the first Briton to do what? I have their answer.
I think it's she became, and it was an astonishing feat, she became the first British person to provide some honest and direct feedback without holding back some information in order to not offend somebody. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, which is quite British, yes.
Yeah,
it is great.
She managed to. What she did was she managed to say she was critical of somebody without apologizing for being critical of somebody. So she said she gave some critical and honest feedback, and then she didn't apologize for it afterwards, because that's what we British people do. Oh, I'm sorry to say, but I'm so sorry.
And it took me 6 hours to find that on the internet. But you're right.
Oh my God! No, she swam across the English Channel.
Yes, yeah.
She swam across the English Channel.
She swam across. In 1991. She was the first Briton to swim across the English Channel.
Yeah, with a cat on her back.
What was the cat's name?
I don't know. That's a weird.
Gene Kelly.
Gene Kelly. Oh, it's come back around. No, can I have another go?
you can have a real guess. Yes,
No,
have a real guess here.
That was my real guess. I know it sounds silly, but all right. Let's try again. To burp the alphabet. She was the first Briton to burp the alphabet. I've got nothing.
I'll have to look that one up. Helen Sharman. Sharman in 1991, the first Briton to go into outer space.
Oh, well done, Helen. Not only somehow, in being silly and stupid, not only did I manage to make myself look like an idiot, but I also managed to somehow be a misogynist as well at the same time, and also just completely disrespectful of any sort of British human achievement. Well done. Well done.
This self-deprecation doesn't suit you.
No.
And it's self-harm. I don't think you've achieved any of those things other than the fact that, hey, you missed it.
Did they get it right?
They got it correct, yes. So the score stand at 5 points to 3. We have 3 questions left. It's still possible to win this. Okay?
That's it? Okay.
Question number 8. Number 8. Now, again, a bit of a multiple guess, so listen carefully. Due to their diet, which people have the lowest incidence of heart disease? Is it Eskimos, Sri Lankans, or Italians? Due to their diet, which people have the lowest incidence of heart disease? Is it Eskimos, Sri Lankans, or Italians?
It's a good question. It's a good question.
I have their answer.
I'm not Googling it, by the way. That sounds like it looks like I'm Googling it. I'm not honest. Just looking here.
It's a difficult one. You have to sort of find certain reports to find out. Yeah. Okay. I have their answer, and yours is...
All right, look, I genuinely am messaging somebody to see if they're free to do a phone a friend thing. I'm not Googling this. My guess is going to be
Italians,
because of their, they have that lovely, but because of
Mediterranean diet.
Because of marketing tells me, because of the brand the olive oil brand that says that it's
olive
really
oil,
good
the Mediterranean diet, all that, and it is very good. And
But
their heart rate, is very low as far as heart conditions and disease is concerned. But it's actually the Eskimos.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and the Chatters went Italian as well.
So is that per capita type thing? Is in like per person and all that? And
yeah, it's a matter of as far as the population is concerned, they have the incidence of heart disease is much less.
Well, that's positive. We should all go and live. First of all, are we not supposed to call them Inuits now?
Probably.
We can't all be perfect, folks. We can't all. Well, this is it.
I come from a Well, I was born mid-century in the 20th century. Let's put it that way, or thereabouts. And it's very difficult for me now to get in America now. Of course, obviously, things like the Miami Redskins. That was their nickname. We're talking about a football team. I've had to go back. You wouldn't want to be called the Miami Native Americans or indigenous peoples. So things are changing quite radically, although a lot of it still sticks around.
And I'm going to say something to you. I'm going to say something to you very quickly here, and that is that you should also not be... self-deprecation doesn't suit you almost as much as it doesn't suit me. And I would argue that self-deprecation suits me very well. Actually, no, it doesn't. It's terrible. Self-deprecation looks bad on me. See what I did there?
Suit you, sir. Suit you, sir.
So
yes.
Stop being mean to yourself, because you're actually a very progressive man. For somebody in their 60s, you are a very progressive, understanding individual.
Now, there comes the deprecation, but that was toward me. So I like that. Yeah. Okay, I can take that.
No, I was saying a positive thing. Just because you're old. What is the moment that you gave up on trying to be understanding, though? At what point? At what age did you get to where you went, I'm too old for this now. I'm just gonna stick with my prejudices. I'm unwilling to learn. What age?
I don't.
What age?
Some people it never comes. Some people it starts very early.
Some people.
Age is really a factor in this.
Some people are born that way, aren't they? Yeah. They're just like, hey, no, these are my values. I've just been born today, and I'm sticking with what I've learned today, and that is food, crying. That's what I want. Tears, food, nothing else.
Well, the tears you can have the tears now because it's impossible for you to win. Okay.
There's a metaphor for life right there, isn't it? It's a metaphor for life.
We've got 2 questions left. 2 questions left, and it stands at 5 points. Well, hang on. 5 points to 3. You can actually draw, but you certainly can't win. Okay?
It's been a hard quiz today.
Good. Question number 9. Next to last in today's quiz. let's talk popes. Okay, are you ready? Which have there been more of?
Let's talk about popes,
Johns
baby.
or
Let's talk
Pauls?
about. Okay. John's or Paul's?
Johns or Pauls? Don't tell me yet because I haven't got an answer.
My head.
Come on, chatters.
My head
Which do you
is
think?
Swimming with
More Johns or more Pauls in the,
witty
in
responses.
the history of the popes?
What about John Paul's?
Well, that would begin with John.
Okay.
We have some interesting guesses. Margaret was not one of the choices.
I think I've sown an element of chaos into today's proceedings, so I do apologise.
You have. I have their answer now, though.
You have. I sense a tinge of disappointment there in his voice. You have, and I'm pretending that I'm enjoying it. But really, I wish you'd calm down. This is a serious quiz business. This is a quiz.
I can't multitask. I was looking at the chat stream. I was trying to pay attention to the people that I can see and that you can't.
Yeah.
I admit that it did mean that it seemed as if I were
No.
slighting you.
I'm not critiquing you, WNL. We're all big fans of you here.
It's time for you to give me an answer.
I can't remember what the question was.
Or Paul?
It's John's. There's loads of Johns. John Bowler.
Loads of Johns. By almost 4-1, there are more
Johns.
There are.
Yes.
So well done. And they actually went for Paul overall.
Yeah!
I mean, Margaret was a possibility, but not really.
Pope Margaret.
So basically, you've caught one back up. It is 4-5 with one question remaining. Now, this last question is actually pretty hard, okay? You do have to think and come up with a reason, okay? So listen very carefully. Chatters, get ready for this. No two answers, well, they might be the same. You might go ditto. We'll find out. Here's your question. Norman Shelley made 3 famous radio speeches in the 1940s, which caused a media stir 50 years later in the 1990s. Why? Norman Shelley made 3 very famous radio speeches back in the 1940s, but they didn't really cause a media stir until 50 years later in the 1990s. Why?
You distracted me by adding an H to the front of that Y again. Hawaii. You've got about 4 H's in that Why. Why? H-W-H-Y.
Well, why is a river. We know that. Hey on Why. I love the festival. But
I love the festival. God, what did he do? 50 years before Shelley, not that Shelley, not Percy Shelley, made a... I thought I'd get a bonus point for doing like a literary reference. I thought you'd like that. Made a reference, made a news broadcast, and 50 years later it caused a storm.
Yeah, 50 years later they found out something which cast it in a different light. And we do have several answers here that are close enough to say that I'm going to give it to the chatter, so be careful with your response, Edward.
There's no.
I don't know whether they're actually maybe researching a little. I don't know, but I do know that they're on the right track. There's no way you know this. 1940s.
Okay, so I mean,
radio
look,
speeches.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So, all right. So it's to do with the war, right?
Yes.
World War II, and it was to do with Churchill and his.
Yes.
And his cigar collection. He was wearing a bowler hat, and he claimed to be the inventor of the bowler hat. And he said, no, it was me. And you said that you, Mr. Shelley, you said that you'd invented them with John Bowler. But it turns out it was me and Tom.
I think we're getting a little too specific here.
Okay.
And off on a wild tangent as well. But Norman Shelley, 3 famous radio speeches in the 40s. and they caused a media stir 50 years later in the 1990s.
All right, so
you're right.
It was to do with something that he'd been quoted on saying, and it turns out he'd not actually really said that quote, and he was misrepresenting the facts. I've got nothing more. I'm sorry. With this one's run on really long, and that's because I'm being silly, and I'm sorry about that. Let's carry on.
It was a difficult question to finish with, and it was the fact that 50 years on, we find out, of course, that he made the speeches and actually delivered them for Winston Churchill, and everyone thought they were delivered by Churchill himself, but they weren't. It was Norman. He delivered these speeches for him, an imposter, a voice impressionist, as it were.
Really? This is true.
This is true.
That is outrageous. If that happened now, and somebody's been impersonating Boris this whole time.
It was sanctioned. It was sanctioned, though. It was wanted. He was hired to do that job. Okay.
To deliver speeches.
We would have never had the. We would have never had the King's Speech if and all this wonderful cinema had they been doing the same things the royal family as Churchill was doing. Yeah. Just get somebody else to sound like you. Let them deliver.
I get it.
So I'm giving it to the chatter.
Are some of those famous
chatters were there? They had enough detail. It's 6 points to 4. Sadly for you, Edward, a loss. For the chatters, a well-deserved victory on a pretty tough quiz.
So my question is, are some of those famous speeches not his then? Not him?
Well, these 3. I'm not sure which 3. I'm sure we could eventually find out which they are and check which ones were said by him. Again, did he write them all? Were they written for him? All those, they were his speeches, but they were delivered by one Norman Shelley. 3 of them were.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it was good. Really well done. Well done. That was a good quiz. Thank you very much. Everyone in the chat's being very, very kind about it as well. The Gandhi Jr. says, "Take that L, Edward." I don't know what that person's talking about. Did I get something wrong? Dillman Black says, "That was a tough one today. Well done all." Jack Little says, 7 today. Must try harder. Darren Signal says, "That was a good quiz. People like the difficulty. More effort next time, chat," says Commander Benkai. Half a point, says Millstone Barn, for my answer, because I did well to get close enough. It was on one of those BBC documentaries like World War II Secrets Revealed, says Benkai. It's good. Well, thank you all for joining in. Commander Banker says, "Mostly on my part, lol," for improving things. Revian says, "Salute," and arrived late. Well, hello, Revian. Oh, crumbs, good to see you. Oh, crumbs for being late, that's right. The Winter Mute says, "The speeches were originally said in Parliament, then recorded by Shelley for broadcast." Ah, okay. Well, I mean, that's been one of the most interesting things that I've learned during these quizzes. It was a good one today. The brain cells got a bit of exercise. I'm really glad because my energy was up. I needed it. I thank you very much. You've kicked me into gear today, so I really appreciate that. Thank you everybody at home for being here for me and for WNL, and thank you WNL for being here as well to do the quiz. Really appreciate it. Should we do another one tomorrow?
Why not?
Why not? HWH.
Why not?
HWH.
I've got an idea for tomorrow. Tomorrow, look, something you've all got. I assume you all have, and that is a human body. A human body.
Oh, we've all got
those. We'll do a round on the human body tomorrow.
I mean, Alien might have something to say about that.
well, Alien might have a few, in canisters all around the laboratory. Yes.
I mean, it's just Alien, isn't it? It's just an alien body. And shush, says Alien. I'm just saying, it's just because of your name, nothing else. Time to bone up on body parts, says Jack Little. Jack, when you're not on the clock right now, you can stop with the good jokes. Okay, you don't have to. We've paid you already for today's jokes. Absolutely. And I'm sure there are other animal-related names in the chat that would also argue that they are probably animals. I mean, Jack Little. That's questionable as to whether that's a human. All right, everyone. Right. Did you know that your thing that you do with You go every now and again. Did you know that you do that?
When
When you're thinking. I do that in my meetings at work, and that's because of you. You gave that to me. Darren Signal says, I'm being very rude today. I am really sorry. I am actually being a little bit over the top and rude, so I do apologise. But it's just it's the sassy mood I'm in. Look, you see me every day here, and I'm just delivering the real self. So I do apologise if I've been a little rude.
Edward, Darren Signal needs singling out actually for praise, because had Darren not been outvoted, they would have won by one more. Had the right answer and at one point.
Very much appreciated. It's the coffee no more. You're right. I need to have the coffee maybe an hour earlier, just to measure things out. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll achieve the right balance of energy versus rudeness. But thank you very much. As always, it's really good to have you here. So thanks very much, and we will see you tomorrow at midday. We're going to use no, we need double caffeinated. No. We'll find the balance. There's going to be, obviously we've got the ending screen, and I'm actually going to use the same one as we used yesterday, because Cosmogrog had done such a good job of this one, and really like it. There's lots of really fun things that you can find in the background of this. But if you want to submit an ending screen, do send it to me via, well, either here on Twitch, or you can also send it to me on Twitter as well, or just find a way to send it. So thank you everybody, and we will see you all tomorrow at midday. Goodbye.
Bye.
That's really good. So I just want to tell you really quickly, because that made me laugh. This, it's like a transformation. Are you ready? 3, 2. It's good. All right, see you later everybody.